Hi there, welcome along. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Novation Circuit and how I'm using it in my live set, together with the Novation LaunchKontrol XL and the Korg NanoPad2. So for those of you that don't know the Novation Circuit, it's a groove box, so it's got 4 drum parts and also 2 polysynths. That's synth 1, synth 2. So it's great, it's really portable, there's a lot that you can do with it, but when you come down into some of the details, if you want to do several things at once, it can start to get a little bit limited. So I'll show you what I mean. We can get in a simple drum pattern here. So if we go to drum 1, these top 2 rows are for drum 1, the bottom are for drum 2. So we can put in a simple 4/4 pattern like this, our kick drum. We can add a snare down here. Maybe some hats. So again, the top 2 rows. And the bottom, we can add some toms. Okay. All right, if we wanted to add in another synth or some bass, for example, we can do that here. We play it right here. Okay, so we can just record something in. Okay, if we wanted to add in something for our other synth. Alright, so we got a little groove going. Now, what starts to happen then is if you want to perform with this live, then you have to go between the different screens too much. So you've got these 8 macro knobs at the top. They do different things depending on what you're on. So if you're on synth 2, it'll control synth 2. We can hear that now. Or synth 1, for example, is our bass. So it'll change how that's sounding. Alright? So, but you can't change things on synth 1 and on synth 2 at the same time. Alright? So that's when this starts to come in handy. So the way that I've got this routed right now, I'm not using any laptop. So both of these, the LaunchKontrol XL and the NanoPad2, don't have MIDI out, so it's just normal USB. And so then what we need to do is we need to use a MIDI USB host. This one's from Kenton. And because we have 2 different inputs, we also need a powered USB hub. I'm using a Belkin one, which has been stable for me. So both of these then are going into the USB hub. From here, it's going into the Kenton MIDI USB host, and then I've got MIDI out with this red cable coming into the circuit right here. And I'm also sending the time, the clock, from the circuit back into the Kenton for the NanoPad2, which I'll talk about. So what this does then is I've mapped this out, and I've based this on a mapping by Lightfinger, which is really good. You should check it out. And I've got control over the mixer, so I've got all of the volume for all of the drum parts right here. These are the 4 drums, and these are the 2 synths. So we can hear that. We can just take everything out. We can add in, just come back with the drums, snare, our hi-hats, and our toms. Okay, so that's great. That's already really helpful. And we don't need to go back and forth. So if we were to do that on here, we'd have to go into the mixer section, and then you have to turn everything up with these knobs right here. So that takes a really long time. You can't do it really quickly, all right? So that's nice, we can do that all right here. Now what we also have control over are the effects. So on circuit, you've got reverb and delay. So I've also got that, I've got them as send effects for all of the channels. So I can do that if I just want to do it on this channel, on the hats. I can add reverb, I can add delay, and I can do it for all of these things at once. And if we're trying to do that on this circuit, it's really cumbersome. You can't go through and do everything at the same time. So the other things that I've got mapped out on here are all of these macro knobs for synth 2. I've got on this row right here, there's 8 knobs here, which are exactly the same as this. So if I wanted to tweak the sound of synth 2, I can change that. I've got all the filters and everything on here. It's exactly the same as on here. I can add effects. Okay, so that means that then on here, I could have this set on synth 1, and I could be changing the parameters of synth 1. And I could also do synth 2 at the same time. That's something that's just not possible just with Circuit. So another thing that we've got on here is filter, which we've got on Circuit also, but now you've got a bit more control because we can hear this filter now. And the emphasis, the resonance, you can't change that. So with this, we've got a filter that's cleaner. There's no resonance or emphasis. But we can add that with this knob here. So that's resonance. So you've got a lot more control. And then here, I've got a sample selector for the drums for 3 and 4. So it's a way that you can quickly change the sound of what's going on. So we could change the hats. Okay, and the same with the toms. We can change that really quickly. And for both of those sounds also, I've got pitch control on these two faders. So I can pitch things up and down. We can hear it on the hat now. That's going up in pitch. And we can make it go really low too. So that's nice to change things really quickly. If you want to add effects on that, it sounds also cool for fills and stuff like that. So we've got that for the toms here. We've also got exactly the same thing. We've got pitch for the toms, so we can get it really low. You can do that all quickly here. Right below, I've got all of the drum sounds. So you've got everything right in front of you. I don't need to go around and come back to here. So that's about everything that I've got on here. And I've also got a mute switch, so that'll kill the volume for everything. If I want to kill everything really quickly, I just kill it like that. Want to bring it back? That's the button right below. So nice way of you having everything right in front of you. You know what it's going to do, and you can change other things on this circuit without worrying about going between different pages. So now on the NanoPad2, what I've got is control over the drums. So it's the same thing, our kick, snare, hat, and tom. You can change these to be your own samples in the circuit also. And the cool thing about the NanoPad2 is it's also got this gate ARP. So it's like a repeat function. So that's not something you can do on the circuit. So you can have it with this XY pad, you change the timing of it to make it slower or faster. And you can do that for all of these different sounds. So it's a way that we can quickly get in patterns. So if we delete the snare or the hats that we've got in here now and the toms, we can just add in something, and I'll show you how easy it is. If we record, we can add in some toms. Okay, now we can change the sample. We can start using all of this together. And if we add effects on it too, now if we also change the pitch, come up with some really crazy stuff that we can't do otherwise. And you can also do this, if we want to delete all of that in here, you can do this all in real time also on here and do the same thing. We can change the pitch too. Anyway, hours and hours of fun, and hopefully this gives you some ideas of how you can incorporate this into your own setup and get the most out of Circuit. It's really a great machine. So thanks a lot for watching.